Let's talk about life now, since we talked about death a little bit. And kids, and up in Massachusetts, there's a youth soccer association, for all of New England, as a matter of fact, that has instituted what they call winnerless games, which is an interesting concept. They do not keep score when they get to the tournament level. So these kids play all these games, they get to the playoffs, and then this group of smart adults, apparently, has said, well, you know what, these kids don't need this kind of pressure. They shouldn't know who wins or loses. It's not about winning and losing. And is that really a good way?
This is up to age 10.
12. Up to 12.
They're doing it at 10 right now, and they're going to try to make it for 12.
Right.
I think it's a good idea, Bill. I'll tell you why. I think, you know, when you think about it, there's too much pressure on a lot of young people. And a lot of this stuff where today you see young people just get to the point where they snap. You have this early admission to college, and you have all of this pressure to play 5 sports and be the best and take these AP classes when you're in 10th grade and all of this stuff. I think there's too much. I think this is what you need.
I think it's a nice reality.
So wait a second. Wait, you're taking a fervent stand on not keeping score in a soccer game. Yet if somebody's body is like rotting away, they're not allowed to off themselves. But God forbid we keep score in a 12-year-old soccer game.
If you
look at things like you look at things like the Oregon school shooting, and you say, what is it about our society today that's different from 30 years ago?
Soccer scores.
Well, no, but when you start looking for explanations, one of them is that the whole social fabric is so tightly wound, and there's so much pressure, particularly on young people. That's how you wind up with things like that.
I don't think kids could give a damn if they lost a soccer game and when you're 11, 30 seconds later. I really don't. I think they're embarrassed for a millisecond, and then, believe me, these kids are not on the playgrounds with AK-47s.
Yeah, but Dennis, it isn't the kids. It's the parents that are overboard, that are absolutely nutcases. They're the ones who wreck it for them.
I think it's important.
Yeah,
I think it's important for you at a very early age in your life to realize that you win and you lose. Now, the more you lose, the more you learn what you do to win. Yeah. Now, I was an athlete, and I'm a long way from Papua New Guinea right now. And it's because of all the years of sport and going, you know what, I didn't quite get that time. That's what we lost. Next time I got better. Every little bit. I think it's important to lose, and then you learn how to win.
Right.
And in life, you lose. You lose. Most of us lose.
Yeah, but Peta, when you lost, did you have a parent berating you and putting you down because you lost?
No, I'm saying better luck next time. Better luck next time.
Well, that's good. That's a good
But
idea.
that's different than saying we're not going to know who wins or loses.
What's the point? What's the point?
Why don't we hook Kevorkian up with the soccer parents?
But, you know, I mean, you look at a lot of things in this society. You wonder about the incident in Texas a few years ago, the murder of the mother and the cheerleader and the murder and all that. We've taken competition too far with young people. And this is the kind of result. And I think this is a good move.
Isn't the word game, isn't that about, there's 2 teams, one wins, one loses, one loses, one wins. It's kind of natural. Look at all the great things sport and competition has done. It motivates people.
Well,
it's very good.
What happens when you get dumped out at age 13 and find out that this world is a gladiator camp, you know? And you've been walking around in Candyland thinking, hey, it seemed like they scored 40 and we scored none, but it was a tie.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, you know.
That's, to me, what would more contribute to a school shooting, is the kid who's had his ass kissed all his life and then gets dumped by his girlfriend and finds out, well, there is losing. Well, how should I handle that?
Too much confuddling around and over children. Let them be. Let them come back and say, Dad, we lost. What do I do? And then say, it's all right. Doesn't matter to lose.
Right.
It's okay. Let the kids.
What is it?
Well, I don't know. It's an Australian word. Confuddling. It's a blonde word. Confuddling.
It's kind of like in a bag, Dennis.
Something.
Oh, of course. Your ability to weed.
There's no question. I mean, a lot of our society is based on competition, and wisely so. But I just think we've reached the point where we are neurotically starting it at too young an age. And
12? They're starting to keep score with the opposite sex at that age, let alone soccer.
Yeah, they drive at 16. Believe me, I want 4 years where the kid understands cause and effect. You know, I want him knowing there are consequences to activity. But 12's not that young.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break to come back to this subject in just a minute.